The demon had a nerve to whip out his part and urinate on my floor. I said, oh, this is personal. I am currently under spiritual attack. I'm going to tell you the 3 things that happened that led me to this point, what I did to start ridding myself of these spiritual attacks, and what this means moving forward. The first thing that I noticed when the spiritual attack was coming was there was a gift giver. Oftentimes, when you are under spiritual attack, you'll be sent something that seems like it's a innocent gift, an innocent show of love, an innocent show of faith. And for that person, it might be. But remember, when the enemy wants to get you, when the enemy wants to sway you in some sort of way, they will go above and beyond for you to pay attention. Now, this gift giver gave me a certain amount of money for one of my videos. That's not unusual. I'll get cash apps, which is dope. But one thing I never do is I never, ever wait to say thank you. The money, the gift was given to me nearly 2 weeks ago, and I forgot all about it. That is very unusual for me. I'm surmising that the reason why I forgot is because God was telling me, do not accept this gift. Do not take this breadcrumb that is a portal, that is a doorway, that is an exchange of energy. Remember, money is an exchange of energy. Don't take it. Then sign number 2. So 2 weeks had went by. Then sign number 2 came. I uploaded a short last Sunday. It was a very beautiful message. I'm going to show you what this person wrote, and we're going to get deeper into the message of why this matters. This is the message that was sent, and it says, do you think that the Almighty like your fingernails like that? ... Isn't that demonic? Take off the excess makeup in fingernails before you present the words of our Heavenly Father. Okay, that's what was written. Now, let me tell you something about demon. This is where the lesson comes in. There's something off about the delivery of this message. One thing I know about demon energy is because they are operating within this 3D world and not of this 3D world, something that always gets misconstrued is language, is spelling. And there's always an off tone to the message. You'll always find this in emails and DMs, and if you're doing public information comments. So one thing I noticed that this person, first of all, is focusing on the wrong thing because the message was positive. What my nails got to do with the message? Shut up. Number 2, when you are dealing with demons who want to talk about how they call upon their God, which in this case would be their Heavenly Father, why would you lowercase it? That's demonic. Why would you lowercase that? It doesn't matter what language we are presenting this information in. When you talk about God, you better put a capital G on that. When you talking about the Almighty, you better put a capital A on that. So automatically, it's not just a grammar, it's the way that the information is presented. I want y'all to look at the nuance of these demons when they come and try to take hold of you or try to take you off of your game. These demons will play in your face. They will try to make you feel bad. They will try to emulate what they believe a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist would be. In this case, they are talking about our Father, which is Christian terminology. Then the lack of punctuation. Okay, now I know these kids nowadays, their punctuation when it comes to text messages are just different. I get that. There's a separate type of language in how the youth text. That's not this. Take another look at it. Take off the excess makeup. Girl, I went, what, the lip gloss? That's what's in that video, girl. I've been working on my skin. You say that my skin is looking so good that you thought it was makeup? No, this is real, y'all. I need us to be, like, when I come to y'all with messages, I always try to speak life into you. But we also have to remember that these demons work overtime, especially when you give your life to God, especially when you are close to the line as I am from baptism. Okay, so I know the enemy is trying to get me to come back, and girl, I'd rather expose you. So that was the second sign there was something coming. First was the gift, then it was this message. The third sign that I was under spiritual attack and I was in spiritual warfare was a dream. I'm going to expose the dream because I don't want you to feel like what you go through when you are in spiritual warfare, it's a lonely battle. I don't want you to feel like no one understands. So in this dream, I was in my home. So I'm already in my personal boundaries, right? This demon that was sent to me through somebody's spell work, through somebody sacrificing animals or using animal parts, burning candles in my name, whatever they're doing, they've already had some type of entry point to my home before. When you have these dreams, when this information comes to you, I want you to pick it apart. This is the enemy doing their strategic tactics, okay? So I was in my home. This demon reeked of old, stale blunts. Before I got baptized, girl, okay, I had my time in the world, okay? Not only did they smell like old, stale blunts, but there was an air of Newport smell. I am also 7 years, going on 7 years of not smoking cigarettes, okay? The demon had oily brown hair, like they hadn't washed their hair in years, okay? Their body was covered in filth, like they had not bathed in a very long time. Someone who purposefully does not care about their personal hygiene to the point where it is offensive to others. This is not a cultural issue. This is not a lack issue. This is someone who has both the understanding and has the resources to clean themselves, are choosing not to simply because they don't want to. That's what this demon looked like. The next thing is the demon didn't have any teeth up top. I'm talking about all whole entire fronts gone, like how a crackhead would not have their front teeth. While I'm in this dream, I'm understanding what I'm looking at, and I'm not scared. I'm always protected by God, regardless of if I'm behind enemy territory or not. I'm looking at this demon. The demon had a nerve to whip out his part and urinate on my floor. I said, oh, this is personal. I yelled out in my dream, I know damn well you didn't just pee on my floor. And the demon got scared. Now I'm looking at the demon looking at me in my home, in my dream. Like I wasn't supposed to be able to communicate with it. Like, girl, I'm gonna exercise you all the way up out of here. So the demon looks at me, I'm looking at the demon, and before I reach for my sword, I woke up. Boom. All right, so here we are. I'm awake. The entire morning, I'm working this dream out. I'm journaling, asking for clarity. I'm looking up what symbolisms might mean that I might not have a clear understanding about. Once I was able to find clarity in this dream, I said, I gotta talk to my family about this, because I know I'm not the only one, not with that specific dream, but who has experienced spiritual warfare in a way where people are sending entities through different realms to meet you and scare you. Don't be scared. No one is immune to spiritual warfare, whether they believe it or not, whether they choose to ignore it or not. No one is immune to it. So when I recognized all of this with the demon crackhead that was sent to me, there was a certain stench, a certain air to this demon that was recognizable. I seen this demon before. This demon has popped up in my life. It showed up as a karmic, and it's staying as a stain, okay? It's staying as a shit stain, okay? I'm able to identify on whose behalf the demon showed up. And girl, once I gathered all the information, I called an emergency meeting with the spiritual department of defense. That's why I got my veteran hat on today. And the first thing I did was pray. When I called the meeting, the spiritual department of defense, to come to the head of the table, and I bowed my head and I prayed, that prayer was strong. That prayer moved spiritual mountains. Start having these cold conversations with you and God about what needs to happen in your protection. And one of the things you have to do is accept accountability. I had to accept accountability. Why? Because I was not up on my prayers. I was experiencing time of peace where nothing was touching me. So I got comfortable. I had to accept that responsibility. So that's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to have a meeting. You're going to take responsibility for what you've been lacking in, allowing yourself to be so openly loving that you allow certain people into your life that could do things like this, whatever it is that you have to take responsibility for, okay? The second thing is that I did was I went into my cleansing rituals. My cleansing rituals are multifaceted, multi-layered. And they go through 48 hours, 72 hours, and sometimes an entire week. The next thing I did was participate in activities that strengthen my boundaries and my faith. So if that means I read my sacred text, if that means that I read books that give me better understanding of what I've gone through or where I've lacked, or if I need more healing and understanding, I feed myself with knowledge, understanding that my boundaries must be up and that I cannot allow myself to lack even when I'm comfortable. When I need to re-strengthen my faith, I start watching beautiful messages. I listen to amazing music. I have conversations with God, because that's all this spiritual warfare is doing for me, girl. It's just making me go deeper into my faith and knowing straight up that I'm on the right path, because why else would you send this stank demon to me? Finally, what I did was I called upon my community. These are people that understand my journey, that love me, have always shown up for me, and vice versa. When you are under spiritual attack, the enemy will try to isolate you. So immediately when I felt that the dream was so crazy, that I was like, nobody's going to understand this. That was false. My spiritual support community 100% understood. It was not crazy to them that I had this dream and that I was under spiritual attack. They prayed with me. So when you are under spiritual attack, you pray, you get to your cleansing rituals, you find activities that strengthen your boundaries and your faith. And then finally, you call on your community. Speak with those who know you, who can help guide you through these moments. So not only do you have clarity, but you know how to armor up. In conclusion, when you are on your right path, there are always going to be people who don't want you to win. There are always going to be people who are working on behalf of the enemy, because you are not stagnant, because you are putting God first, because you are not the same person that they could use, manipulate, lie to. Now they have to resort to demonic behaviors in order to get your attention and try to slow you down. Let me tell you something, demon. You ain't slowing none of us down. I'm a child of God. I have a purpose. And at one point I was derailed from that purpose, but never, ever again. My purpose is to speak life into people and to lead them to God. Lead them to their own level of love. You ain't stopped no show. I wanted to come on here because we had to have a special Department of Defense meeting. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Let me know if you want me to below, but I will do a podcast episode on 10 ways to spot a demon. I want you to understand, when you go through spiritual warfare and you have these demons come to you, don't be scared. Don't be fearful, because all demons are trying to do is rock your faith. They are insidious, attempting to make you walk away from your faith, attempting you to walk away from your purpose, attempting for you to succumb to whatever limiting beliefs you have, or just to the fear that if you stop doing what you're doing, then they won't come back, or they always try to come back.